It's a brand new year, and we have the second half of the season to begin. The rotation, we now have the teams. We now have the teams facing each other for a second time, as it is the second half of the season. Happy New Year to one and all. It is a rainy day here at Fort Britannia, and this could be one of Manchester United's toughest matches. The Britannia Stadium is probably the hardest place to play in the Premier League. But Manchester United, having said that, have only lost at Old Trafford one time all season. So this could be a battle of wills more than anyone else. Well, for Mark Hughes and his Stoke team, it's Begovic in goal with Cameron Huth, Shawcross and Malaysia. Three-man midfield with Sidwell, Whelan and Steven Nzonzi, and a free forward line of Bohan, Miriam Diouf and Asadi, bought from Liverpool recently. Miriam Diouf was actually a stand-up for Stoke until he went off, and then they kind of lost their way a little bit. So hopefully he'll play the full 90 minutes this time. For Louis Van Gaal, Manchester United is relatively unchanged. David De Gea stays in goal with Raphael, Hubbles, Jones and Shaw. Jones and Rojo and swap round. Rojo makes the bench this time. Blind, Fletcher, Valencia, Di Maria and Januzaj the midfield. And Robin Van Persie is up top by himself this time. Well, as we said, Miriam Diouf, former Manchester United player, but was a standout in Stoke's previous match against the two sides, which I think Man United won rather comfortably at Old Trafford, as you would expect. Andre Mann is going to be in charge of this match. A new year brings new hopes maybe for Manchester United. They are leading the table by 7 points, and who would have thought that at the beginning of last year in 2014, where Manchester United was slumping under David Moyes, but a lot has changed in a year, that's for sure. And for Manchester United especially, it's such a good change, and it's good to see Manchester United back to their best. And let me tell you, their best this season has been beyond anything anyone else has done. Like we said, 7 points at the top of the table, ahead of Arsenal, who have had a stellar season by themselves. They probably have partially Danny Welbeck to thank for that. So with the new year comes another transfer window, and Kevin Strootman is supposedly one of Manchester United's targets, and apparently there is a deal in the works, possibly to swap Nani over, to recall him from his loan at Sporting Lisbon, or Sporting CP, and send him over to Italy to play for Roma, with Strootman coming the other way. There's also a reported £8 million involved, so Manchester United not spending the big cash for this window. Obviously they need to be mindful of the financial fair play rules. It seems like a great deal on paper for Manchester United, but Roma have to think about it. Will it work for them? Losing their one of their top stars in their team for Nani, but let's not downgrade Nani. I mean, Nani still has so much to give, so much talent. The only reason you haven't really seen him as much is because it's very hard to break into a first team like Manchester United with all the names they have, especially this season with the likes of Di Maria and Januzaj coming through the ranks of Daley Blind. Do Manchester United need another midfielder? Yes, they do. Darren Fletcher and Michael Carrick getting up there in years already. Darren Fletcher's been a loyal customer for years, as has Michael Carrick. But Louis Van Gaal doesn't really want to sell any of his usable players, like his first team and his second team, let's say. But since Nani was out on loan, it seems like a good move, and now they want to make it a permanent deal with Roma for Kevin Strootman. There was rumours always ahead by Van Persie, and he's missed. Actually, that was, I think that might have been Hummels, actually. Let's see this. Yes, it was Matt Hummels. He's already scored with his head already this season. He scored in the 5-4 thriller at Everton at Old Trafford, near the midpoint of the season. Well, early part of the season, I should say. So Roma have to think about it. Will it be good for them? I think it's a fair deal both ways. Roma have Nani. He's still so much to give to a team, and he's apparently enjoying his stay at Sporting. There were rumours that maybe Hernandez was going to be in the Strootman deal, and there was going to be a deal for William Carvalho to bring Nani over permanently. But Van Gaal has stated that Hernandez will be returning to Manchester United. So what does that mean? Does that mean he's not going to try and sign Falcao permanently, or is he going to use Hernandez maybe as a swap deal for Falcao, and maybe Hernandez heads to France to play for Monaco? Who knows? I mean, I personally think Hernandez still has so much to give himself. He's just not really broken into the first team with the likes of not Januzaj, Van Persie and Rooney and Will Keane and James Wilson coming through the ranks. I don't think Hernandez would really break into the team, so maybe there's a sign to that. Or maybe Van Gaal isn't really considering Carvalho at this point. I mean, he's young, he's got a long way to go, and to break into a Manchester United team for him wouldn't be a good move. Whereas with Streetman, he has experience. So maybe Van Gaal is actually playing this right. We all know how Van Gaal rates Streetman, obviously being from the Dutch team. So it would make sense to do that. Here's Van Persie, speaking of Dutch players, and he forces a save out of Begovic. That's the first real chance for United. And like we said, United do need midfielders, so maybe they're looking for another one. Maybe they're looking for another midfielder with a lot more experience under their belt. We hear that Cadogan could be an interest, and that would be nice for Matt Hummels to have one of his older teammates with him. Obviously, they were teammates at Borussia Dortmund. So Manchester United and Van Gaal weighing the options and seeing what he can do. And that's a bad tackle on Van Persie. It was mistimed more than anything. I think the referee Andre Mann has seen that. It was more mistimed than anything else. I don't think he meant to injure Van Persie. He was going for the ball rolled away from him. Van Persie with the free kick. And we all know how Van Persie can do his free kicks. He's taken 2 this season. It's 35 yards out. This is a bit far out for Van Persie, but he'll obviously have a go. It's the best thing he can do. He does. Oh, and he forces a save out of Begovic. Beautifully hit free kick from Van Persie. He's definitely been working on those this season. This is beautifully hit. Oh, almost inch perfect. Oh, I think it might have hit the bar, but Begovic didn't want to take any chances. Very well played by Begovic. Good save. And Di Maria with the corner. Obviously retaining his spot from his brilliant performance at the Tottenham game. Good tackle. Finding Phil Jones with ease. Good chasing back by Miran Biram-Juve now. Look at the space he has. Raphael again, right there. Manchester United, there's such desire to get the ball when they lose it. We've seen Aaron Henwood do that plenty of times this season. So Aaron Henwood heads into 2015, top scorer for his team with Di Maria, one behind him and a further goal away is Falcao. Oh, and is that a foul? Is that a penalty for Stoke there? It could have easily been a penalty. The referee says no. Not that a penalty to me. I think Stoke will be a bit aggrieved by that. Di Maria on a bad pass. Sidwell's overhit his pass. It's a Stoke throw-in though. Came in off Van Persie last. Here's Robert Huth, former Chelsea player. That's a good header from, I believe that's Luke Shaw, but as I can't reach it. Over to Whelan. Cameron again. Here's Whelan. Oh, what a miss hit there by Stoke. Oh, and a great save by De Gea. Someone went for a tackle and misstepped it. And the Stoke player found his teammate, Miran Biram-Juve, who was a good shot here. That's a beautiful hit and a much better save by David De Gea. Fantastic game against Tottenham Hotspur, and he's continuing his good form here. David De Gea cannot be beaten at the moment. 10 clean sheets for the season, 10 out of 19 games. Outstanding record. Put it away, and Lewis is going to pick it up. Manchester City 1, Sunderland 0. Cavani the scorer. Manchester City starting to come good now. It's starting to work. I think there might be one more signing in the works for Manchester City, especially after losing such top players like Vincent Kompany and Sergio Aguero. Oh, and there's a player that's down and injured here, but the referee is dealing with a foul from earlier. We'll have to see how the injured player is working, and Manchester United do not need that sort of news. They've already had 4 major injuries to deal with Wayne Rooney, Juan Mata, Aaron Henwood and James Wilson all out. As with the free kick, but it's poor. Now, whoever the injured person is, they're not backing down. They're not calling for a substitution. That's good news for Louis Van Gaal. He'll obviously keep an eye on him. Didn't really see who it was. I think it might have been one of the defenders, if anything. He's had Yanazai, a bit of a slower season than he had last, but he's only 19. Don't forget. It's easy to forget how young he is. But he's absolutely outstanding for his age. And that was a good shot by Yanazai, forcing a save out of Begovic. Looks like the goalkeepers are going to have a say in how this scoreline plays out. That's a beautiful shot from Yanazai, off balance, but he somehow got the shot away. Very well played, and Di Maria has a corner. The grass, obviously, the wet grass could be aiding a few trick shots like that from Yanazai. Now, Juve's not going to get there, unfortunately. Baron Juve, Mark Hughes rates him very highly, and rightly so. And he's only 27. He's not old. He's still got so much to give. And like we said, Nani is the same. West Ham 1, West Bromwich 0. Andy Carroll has scored for West Ham. A nice goal for him to celebrate in his troubled time at West Ham due to many injuries. And Percy, a good save from Begovic again. Looks like Begovic and David De Gea might be keeping this 0-0 at this rate, which would be a fair scoreline considering how tough Britannia Stadium is to play. Such a tough stadium, such a fortress, and the fans love it when they come to this stadium. They love their team, and it shows. The magnificent home performances that Stoke City put out. Danny Blind is going to try a shot. A bit from range there, a bit ambitious for Danny Blind. Probably should have passed it. Excuse me. There we go. Is what we saw on the ball for Stoke. 10 minutes left of his first half, and the goalkeepers have certainly been the telling point. David De Gea has had a lot less to do, but when David De Gea is called into action, you can never underestimate how good David De Gea has got. In the last few seasons at United, he was once seen as maybe the goalkeeper that was not going to go many places. He was making so many mistakes. Angel Di Maria is saved by Begovic. But David De Gea has really worked on it, and he's not given up, and he's so good now. Manchester United are thankful they kept him, I'm sure. There's no even signs of selling David De Gea. Anyway, Yanazai is down in the box. Someone's down in the box. There's no penalty given. Welcome back to the Britannia Stadium, and it's another injury for Manchester United, and it's Robin Van Persie, the latest casualty to hit the injury list. Louis Van Gaal is running out of luck when it comes to keeping his top players fit. It's been a condensed schedule, but he's rotated his squad so much you wouldn't think injuries would be such a problem. Falcao, good save from Begovic. And it's going to be a goal kick, I think. But Robin Van Persie is now the latest casualty on the injury list. 5 injuries Major wants to deal with now. Aaron Hemwood, James Wilson, Wayne Rooney, Juan Mata, and now possibly Robin Van Persie will now be spending some time on the sidelines. And what does Louis Van Gaal have to do? I mean, Wayne Rooney and Juan Mata will be coming back in a matter of weeks. James Wilson still has 2 months left, supposedly, and Aaron Hemwood will be back in February as well. But losing Robin Van Persie, it's major unfortunate right now. Maybe bringing back Hernandez from his loan for Real Madrid might be a good thing to do, because that's 3 main strikers now injured for Manchester United. Falcao and Will Keane are the only 2 recognised strikers left. The referee is calling for a free kick to Stoke, I believe, yes. Oh my word, what terrible luck for United. Oh, and Juve with the header. And we thought there was an injury earlier, but whoever that was is shaking it off. It's a free header for Juve. We should have done much better. But what terrible luck for United. This is another main injury to another one of their top players. I mean, 4 big player injuries in Rooney, Mata, and Percy and Hemwood, and youngster James Wilson, and up and come up. 5 minutes of added time due to the injury to Robin Van Persie. What terrible luck this is. Manchester United have fought through such adversity and they're running out of options. And here's Falcao though. Played a mesmerising performance against Tottenham. Oh, and is he brought down? It's a penalty! It's a penalty to Manchester United. Now, what will happen here? Manchester United have not scored a penalty all season. It's a definite penalty. It's a foul on Falcao. There could be a question of whether it was inside or outside the box, but it doesn't matter. Andre Marino has given it. So who will take this one? And Falcao is actually gone up, and it looks like Falcao will take it. So another different penalty taker. Can Begovic keep his clean sheet? He's performed some stunning saves thus far. And here is Ramon Falcao to take it. And it would be probably better if Manchester United Falcao put his foot through this, because most penalties this season have been misses, unfortunately. Here he comes. And off the post, and finally Manchester United score a penalty. But it was very, very close. It was in off the post. It has been given. And will they use the goal line technology to confirm it? The referee says it's a goal. Let's see this. Ramon Falcao, he goes. Begovic goes the right way. That's definitely in. Manchester United score a penalty, and Ramon Falcao did exactly what we thought he would do. He put his foot through it. Beautifully done. Begovic cannot do that. A lucky tap in off the post. But finally Manchester United break their duck with penalties and score at the end of the first half. 5th goal of the season for Falcao, equal with Di Maria, and one behind Aaron Henwood, their top scorer. Aaron Henwood is probably going to be overtaken at some point. It's just a question of who. 1 Stoke City 0, Manchester United 1. It looked like being another 0-0 at the end of the first half, but a penalty given by Andre Marino for a foul on, I think it was Falcao. He went up to take it, and even though it was a bit of slice of luck in it, Manchester United broke their penalty duck. Stoke City 0, Manchester United 1, and finally a penalty scored.